They are the Rodney Dangerfield of local high school football, but that is until this year. The Millbury football team is getting some respect, storming out to a perfect 4-0 record.
My name is Jason Wood. They call me Woodsy in high school. I think I always go back to my junior year. We were 0-9-1. We couldn't win a game. I'm so sick of losing.
Millbury football has not had a winning season in 19 years.
Probably 4 or 5, 6 of us that worked out at the Auburn Racquetball Club, and we were like, we want to win. Like, how do we do this? And then Coach Gagne would pick us up to make sure it worked out.
That summer and that off season, we knew we can do this. We knew we can be able to be a great team going into next year. And it wasn't just the players. Thank God the coach said, I know you can do this.
I think the kids realized they could stop to play football, you know. So then they started lifting weights during the winter time and everything like that, and just kept mushrooming. They worked all summer long and everything like that. And the enthusiasm got bigger and bigger.
Summertime, they would go up to high school to be up there working out, doing their laps and different things, and going to our weight room all the time too. Yeah, they kind of had something in their head that they could do it, and I think it had a lot to do with Norm, but our head coach. He had in his head that we were going to be good that year.
And I remember sitting in the weight room because it was thunder and lightning one day, and we were all quiet, and I just piped up, I want to win.
Number 54, Jason Wood.
I remember the 1993 football season. I remember the 1992 football season when my son Jason got hurt on the field. And my wife wasn't happy about it, and she said to him after a while, well, I guess you don't want to play football anymore, huh? And he says, I'm going to play. He says, next year, we're going to be epic.
We worked out all off season, 90-degree weather, double sessions, practice real hard. Hard work is paying off now.
I don't know who came up with the miracle train. It was put on a hat. I actually think it was a quote from the T&G, and then they got put on hats. Someone from the Boosters Club maybe done it. Put it on hats, and then I remember Coach Gagne saying to me one day, "There ain't no miracle. We earned everything we got. There was no miracle. What we actually did to win the game, there was no miracle. We earned it."
We just took it one game at a time. Before we knew it, we were 3-0, playing Uxbridge fourth week, who hadn't lost a game in 19 games. And that Friday night, we go down to Windle Field. It was probably around October 4th. And it was a hot night, I remember that.
Uxbridge hadn't lost a game in like 3 years. And he said, so the week before we had some guys scouting. Brian Heber went out scouting with Wayne Nato. And they came back after one of our games. We just finished up and they came in. And he says, you know what, we can beat these guys. I said, oh, if we can beat them, we can beat anybody, because they were a real good team at the time.
I cried. Personally, me, kids that have been on the team forever, since 8th grade, we cried. And it was great to see our fans out there storming the field like they did. Our coaches hugging each other, getting hugs from our coaches. We were so pumped up that we walked back to the school with a police escort.
We definitely are for real. You know, our first couple of wins before Uxbridge, they were saying, oh, it's a fluke, you know, we got lucky. We came out and we beat Uxbridge. Now we've earned respect, we've earned that. We have earned each and every win. There's no luck involved. We have earned it.
I mean, after the game, they didn't take the bus. They all walked back. They got a police escort. I couldn't wait to get home and call my wife in Florida. She was visiting her mother down there. She was sick at the time to tell her about it. It was awesome. It really was. Enjoyed the hell out of it.
That Uxbridge game was the turning point, and I think the coaching staff's minds too. We knew that we could beat anybody. We knew we had the kids that could play, and the kids they them too. I think if you kind of look back at the history of it, they saw that Uxbridge game as the stepping stone to, that was the beginning, you know.
I'm Norman Algania. I was the coach of the Super Bowl team in 1993. I always wanted to be a coach all my life. I worked in a wire mill for 22 years. I used to work around the clock. It was hard work working on furnaces. And it's not like 90-degree weather like this there. You work. I said, what the hell am I doing here? This is what I want to do, you know. We started the season. I thought we could have a winning season. We never had one. We were good enough to have a winning season. I worked them so hard. I worked them hard, you know, and that's why I worked them, because they knew why I was doing it. You know, you don't bullshit a kid. You know, you be honest. I'm honest with you. You're honest with me, and I think that's the biggest thing. In order to get respect, you got to show respect.
I would yell, refuse to lose, emphatically, because that's how I felt. I was not going to lose because I was so sick of it.
Clack, 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 clack. The cleat clicking is what said, okay, it's time to go. It's game time. This is where it starts. And he starts running his sock hole, you know, screaming whatever he's screaming, but whatever all the other shit he was screaming, in there was refuse to lose.
Refuse to lose, I wrote on my cleats, because I got that pregame. I would do the pregame speech in the locker room.
He was the one walking around the benches, screaming his things, but always was refuse to lose. You know, stay on your box, refuse to lose, you know, screaming.
So when I would do my pregame speeches in the locker room, the size of a 12-by-12 room with 23, 24 kids in it, you'd hear the click on my cleats, and that was one of the last things he would yell, refuse to lose. And then we'd all come together. J.C. Davis would lead us on a prayer, and we'd hop on the bus and go on the field.
Has run the toss and has elected to receive.
After Leicester, we had to play Prouty on a Friday night.
To me, one of the most important parts of the whole season, we had to win that game. And David Prouty was good because they won the lead the following year.
We were trailing. We didn't really trail many. We weren't behind in many games, but we were trailing by a touchdown. This
game, we had to win this game to go undefeated and to play Northbridge for the big game. And we were down 2.5 minutes to go in the game, and we called timeout. Neil Turner comes, the linemen were out there. Neil Turner, he's waiting, Coach, come here. And she says, Coach, hold our hands, you know. He says, let's hold hands. He says, don't worry, Coach, we're going to get this. Because I had these kids since they were 7th graders. When I come up with them, and I understood him. And he said, yeah, don't worry, Coach, we're going to make this. We'll make this. Then I went back and I told Tom, I said, don't worry, we'll make it.
There was pretty much a season on the line. I take his guy, he takes my guy, hole opens up, first down, drive continues. And after that, I knew put a nail in them because they weren't fucking stopping us.
That's what sports is all about. When the going gets tough, you get tougher. That's what I used to tell the kids, you know, and that's what they did.
You're watching WBZ TV, Boston. Coming up next on WBZ News 4.
Thanksgiving 1993. Those who have sharing their day with those less fortunate.
Another Thanksgiving tradition, high school football. We'll take you live to one of the hottest rivalries in the Commonwealth. Good afternoon, I'm Ed Carroll. There's certainly a December chill out there this afternoon, and it looks like it's going to get colder tonight. Full forecast in just a couple of minutes.
Thanksgiving every single year is always the biggest game, right? And every single year we go into it thinking we got a chance.
Millbury hadn't won since '68.
The only year that Northbridge didn't ruin our Thanksgiving was the year we got too much snow and we had to play on Saturday. So that was the only time I ate Thanksgiving dinner in high school without like a little bit of, that taste of defeat as well.
It was a special, special day. All the people, the town was so supportive that time. It was crazy.
The town was pretty electric the entire time. I mean, it had gotten such a big following because it had been so long since they had done what they were doing.
That they said that was the Super Bowl. That's what the kids think. But Northbridge was always the big game. No matter, when I was in school, I was lucky. We beat Northbridge 3 out of 4 times, and so it didn't bother me. But the kids was 24 years they haven't beat them, I knew I figured we had a shot with them.
Now, live, this is WBZ News 4.
Probably the hottest game in the state today is the rivalry between Millbury and Northbridge. Last year, Millbury lost every game it played. This year, the team is undefeated, and Northbridge could find itself at a losing end of this matchup for the first time in a quarter century. WBZ's Joe Shortsleeve now is live in Northbridge, where the game has created a frenzy of excitement. How's it going, Joe?
Timing is everything, John. And there's about 53 seconds left in this game. Millbury in the white, they're still ahead, 14. And Northbridge only has 8 at this point, 14-8, 53 seconds left. This is really a Cinderella story. Millbury couldn't win a game last year. This year they haven't lost, and now they have a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
We get into the locker room, and all of a sudden, we hear the door open. Joe Shortsleeve, WBZ News. He didn't ask to come in. No, I don't even think anybody knew he was there. We saw the news truck. And he says, I'm WBZ, Joe Shortsleeve. And Coach Gagne pretty much says, I don't give a fuck if you're Santa Claus. You don't come in the locker room.
The fans from Millbury have every reason to cheer this Thanksgiving Day. Their town's high school team, wearing the white jerseys, has a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Not bad for a team that couldn't win a game last year. Tell me the record last year.
8-1.
0-8-1.
Yeah.
And the record this year?
9-0.
Now, how do you explain that, Norman?
Oh, I think the kids they worked hard all winter long and everything like that. And I think it was a year ago today with a Thanksgiving game where we got beat 8-0, and I think that motivated the kids for the whole year. They started lifting weights and everything like that, and they got psyched, I think that was part of it.
It's quite a turnaround.
Oh, it's amazing. Compared to last year, people used to say, oh, why do you play Millbury football? Now everybody's looking out. Millbury football, look at it, it's 9-0 now. Looking forward to the Super Bowl. Just have to get through today.
Did you think that this was possible this year, coming off last year's season?
I knew this was possible since my 8th grade year. We have a bunch of kids who play with their heart.
Millbury's turnaround is the talk of the town. Several thousand traveled to Northbridge to see if these kids could complete a perfect season.
I don't know how to explain it. It's just they all pulled together and they're just doing wonderful. It's just the whole town, though. It's just I don't even live in town anymore, and I came that far.
We haven't had a team like this in years. It's great for the town, respect for the town and everything like that.
Pride.
Even the coach from Northbridge, the opposing team, is happy about Millbury's turnaround.
This has created tremendous excitement in this entire valley, from the town of Millbury to our town here in Northbridge. We sold advance tickets of almost 3,000 tickets, and this is just incredible. We don't even know how to handle these kind of people.
This was from last year when we were juniors, when we were so close. So this was different going into this year. We as the team knew this is it. We are doing this. We are not going to be denied.
We lost 8-0 the year before. We played such an inspired game on that Thanksgiving and torrential downpours, and And it was heartfelt because we were driving, we had opportunities, we didn't finish our opportunities, but it was a good bridge to that group of guys that, hey, you know what, we can compete. This is Northbridge. They were a great team. They always had our number, but we came the closest to beating them, I think, in 23 years or something like that, right? So I think that really kind of helped spark Jason and what he could do and what he needed to do to help the team. And it started to give them the confidence they needed that they can compete at this level and be successful in their senior year.
Millbury's still winning 14-8. Now the important thing to remember is that Northbridge has won this Thanksgiving Day game 24 years in a row. We're going to find out in just a moment whether or not they're going to hold on to that streak. This will decide who goes to the Super Bowl.
In my graduating year back in high school, of course, we didn't beat Northbridge either at Millbury High. I graduated in 78, but 77 we lost on the last play of the game. And we were going to be the first ones since the 60s at the time. And we lost on the very last play of the game to, beat Northbridge. All I could envision, of course, we didn't have the ball at the end of the Northbridge game that year. And all of a sudden I'm saying, here we go again. You're marching down the field. He goes, all they're going to do is they're going to score a touchdown. We're going to be screwed again.
Let's see what happens. 23 seconds left.
Lobs it in the end zone. Jason Finney intercepts.
Oh, my! Intercepted in the end zone. Millbury has the ball back. Whoa! There is 17 seconds on the clock. Millbury has the ball.
That's when I don't know what the fuck to do. We're going to win this fucking game. I'm looking at Ryan Martin, who's always next to me. What do we do? We're going to take a knee. We never taken a knee. I don't remember ever going and taking a knee.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What a Cinderella story. Millbury going to the Super Bowl. A perfect season, 10-0. What a finish.
All I wanted to do was carry Coach Gagne off the field. But trying to find him was tough. So me and Leo eventually found him and put him up on my shoulders. I think that's a picture of it. And we carried him off the field.
We got a call or a request to come down and talk to the football players prior to the Super Bowl. It was Bob Pickard and I think there might have been another one of us that went down, just to give us our perspective of a big game to these kids, because they were kids and here we are men, basically talking about the kinds of things that might go through your mind here, and just to settle down. It's a game. It is a big game, but just settle into it and enjoy it.
Now, welcome to the 1993 Central Massachusetts Super Bowl highlight show right here on TV3. Well, let's start with Division III and two teams that had not lost a game the entire season. Bay Path 10-0. They were in the Super Bowl last year against Uxbridge, but lost. For Bay Path, their fifth trip in a row to the Super Bowl. On the other side of the coin, Millbury 10-0. A dream season for the Woolies and head coach Norm Gagne. They didn't win a game the entire season last year, but this year they reeled off 10 straight, and they were headed to a Division III Super Bowl. Let's go to Alumni Field at WPI to check out all the action of the first game of the day this morning at 9:45, Bay Path and Millbury in the Division III Super Bowl.
The game itself, again, we walked in there and you look around in awe. There's so many people there from the town of Millbury. It was crazy. I mean, WPI, they said they'd never seen a crowd like that. It was a 9:30 game. They said never saw a game early like that. Super Bowl had a crowd. And I think everybody in town is pretty much there.
A capacity crowd on hand to see Millbury and Bay Path in the Division III Super Bowl. Millbury in the maroon jerseys. Mike Daly does it on the ground. 33-yard run for Daly on a key third down play. Daly finishes off the drive, a 2-yard touchdown run, and Millbury takes the early lead, 6-0.
The game itself, I don't ever remember thinking we were going to lose. We were not like the Northbridge game. We were never in jeopardy of losing.
But Bay Path would get one more chance with 3 minutes remaining in the game, but they turn it over, and Mike Daly comes up with the football. The turnover leads to a 35-yard Mark Balsh's field goal. Millbury goes up 17-7, and they win it 17-7, and the celebrating begins.
I was worried because we had a hard game with Northbridge. I didn't know if the kids were up, but they rose to the occasion in the second half. Now I want to thank my coaching staff. They did a hell of a job all year long, and we worked well together.
We're overwhelmed. There's nothing else. There's nothing we can say. We're just in tears.
We came in with a new attitude, a winning attitude. The coaches prepared us for a winning attitude. We got together as a team.
This is great. This is what we've been striving for all year. Coach, come into this practice, concentrate on our 10 games this year, have a winning season. I say, Coach, we're playing 11. And now we won the Super Bowl. The team feels totally great. You know, we were watching the clock count down, and we're like, oh my God, we're gonna win. You know, when Bosch just kicked that field goal, we were like, it's over. We're gonna win.
That felt good. I was glad for the kids. I had to feel good. You know, I feel good. I was happy for the kids. That's what it's all about.
The thing about the Super Bowl is I started that year in the summer of WPI football camp. And then I end the year on WPI's field. Walk into the locker room. I'm the last guy into the locker room. There's a camera there filming me get into the locker room, and I say, fuck yeah. And that was it. I remember just sitting on the bench. We're 11-0, we did it. We won the Super Bowl. There's nothing more to win. And trying to take off the gear for the last time. That was such a good feeling because you think it's 11 games, but what all the hard work that went into it years prior and losing, getting our ass kicked. 11-0, Super Bowl champs, like that would have never, ever would have imagined that it went that way.
Want to hold that up for the camera, please?
Everybody get over here! We gotta break them down! Number one! You actually recording? Still watching it? Hi, Mom. Yo! Find the place where I'm diving. Okay?
The nucleus of our team started in 8th grade.
Yeah,
and it was maybe a dozen kids that we went from 8th grade to senior year with, and it just got better. And I don't know. It was just, we were gonna win. Going back and watching some of the video footage now, and we could have played crappy games, and I think we would have won. We were a good team. We were a damn good team.
That's what I did, right? So that's at the State House.
Coach Gagne he was everything to everybody. Still is.
You know, he was old school, and maybe he wasn't as much about the X's and O's, about the heart, and, you know, lining up from the guy in front of you. And if you look at him, you know, what is he, 5'6", 5'7", but he'd kick my ass. You know, straight. You know, he's a Marine. You know, had the heart.
Pretty sure he played without a face mask too when he used to play.
You know, the
so
leather helmets. You know,
he was old school, so
you can see it in his nose.
He's a guy that everybody that played for him and knows and respects him so much. So yeah, I mean, he helped me find this barbershop. He was waiting at the door the day I opened the doors. It was him and another French guy. They were fighting over who was going to be the first Frenchman to get a haircut.
He kept us accountable, right? And he inspired us to want to play football. You know, he made it so that we want football as a part of our lives for the rest of our lives. You know, that was huge. And for me, he was huge because, you know, he gave me somebody to look up to when I needed somebody to look up to.
So this man has affected my life, just like a lot of people in my lives, like family to me.
And I remember I used to take Woodsy home, drop him off, and he says, whenever he used to shut the door, he says, "Coach, nobody's going to beat us next year." And boom, he said, "I'm sick of losing." And he shut the door. And I says, "I got him." I said, "They understand, you know." And sometimes the kids, they were working hard, and I remember Ryan Martin one time doing it again. He says, "Coach, we're working so hard, and we're still getting beat." I says, "Ryan, you're not working hard enough." And then they understood, and that's part of life. That's what sports is. As far as I'm concerned, it helps you in life if you do it right. It's not all winning; it's how you go about it. Go Woolies.